like any future calls of this nature, dial 7 now. To accept this call, press 5 now. To decline it, thank you.
Well, good afternoon.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you folks?
I'm good. I can't complain.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't usually do any good to anyway, so we don't.
That's right. How's Agnes?
I got your email on, or not the email, but somehow the paperwork got sent here about the same time that I expected from you folks, and for the
Stimulus?
Yeah, for the money that was supposed to come in for everyone.
Yeah.
And I applied for it to see if it flies or not. This group of people wants to act like they're in more control or in more authority than anyone or anything else on the planet. Yeah, I've been waiting for almost a year now to get my curio back from a bogus infraction that they took it away for, and it wasn't even part of the punishment or the penalty to have it taken away.
Wow.
Yeah. And I finally got the sign off on the curio permit day before yesterday, and so the following morning, Adams was out here, her little
entourage
was out here. Yeah, she said, you've got to understand that she looks like this cartoon character from Foghorn Leghorn, the little hen that's, yeah, it is.
Wow.
Anyway, it's my understanding from talking with others here and stuff that she looks like she's a meth addict. She got no weight on her bones at all, and she's flighty and
is she the warden?
And doesn't have any conscience about doing anything, and will tell you a lie sooner than she will tell you the truth.
Whoa, that's not good.
The truth can be sitting right in front of both of you, and she will choose to tell the lie.
Uh-oh.
Because she's Department of Corruptions.
Wow.
Anyway, that's one of the things that I'm waiting on. I finally got my headphones for my music. I've been waiting now to get. I made an order for 3 sets of guitar strings and a guitar cord and a dozen guitar picks.
Mm-hmm.
And the property officer day before yesterday told me that they'd come in, but I haven't seen any of them. And I sent out the headphones and the one trade-off guitar cord out already. And these wonderful people want to charge me $10, hold a $9 holding fee on my funds, like I don't have enough to be able to pay them otherwise. And I've got $2,000 on my books. So, it's just crazy. This is stuff that we go through on a daily basis here. It's one stupid thing after the other. It's like the whole group when they come to work, before they cross the door in the front door and stuff, they've got to reach into the big jar of stupid bills and take out a handful and take them before they come to work.
Yep. It's like the blind leading the blind.
Yeah, well, I'm more determined than that, but anyway.
Yeah.
You gotta laugh at it because it's so stupid.
Yeah.
One of the underlying jokes between inmates here all the time that I've been down is, what is long and hard on a prison guard? And the answer is the second grade. So,
Yeah.
yeah, they have a hard time getting through the second grade. They can't read, they can't count, they can't spell, and all of that. So anyway, Agnes and I are working on me getting out still. We have some possibilities working up. We're thinking about attacking the United States government and all of these bureaus that have guard functions or police functions like the border guard and the CIA and these places with that documentary that we saw a while back about the corruption of using innocent people and putting them in prison and taking the taxpayer money, and at the same time putting the taxpayer in prison for up to a year before they have a hearing.
Oh my gosh.
Now,
Yeah.
isn't that something?
What happened to innocent? What happened to innocent until proven guilty?
Yeah, well, that went out about the time that I got sent to prison.
Wow.
We had documents that weren't given to us that were Brady violations, and we couldn't even get the judge to look at this. And I finally started getting upset with my attorney, and he tells me off to the side, take it easy. Yeah, don't worry about this. We'll get it back in the appeal process and stuff. And I says, you're not the one that's going to prison to set this out. I am, and I don't really care to.
Yeah. They love.
He looked at me kind of sideways, but understood what I was talking about. You can't coax somebody that's you're supposed to be defending into relaxing and going ahead and going to prison.
No.
And look at what happened. I've done 34 years for something that I didn't do.
Yep.
And the paperwork showed up at his offices from somebody that cared enough to take the time to go to one of his assistants and have it typed out, and then was never able to get back to it because of whatever reasons. And I'm thinking more along the lines that he got found out and got waylaid, because it seems kind of peculiar that he ended up dying and forgetting about this, and not necessarily in that order, but that's what happened. He forgot about it or whatever, and didn't ever come back. And we're treating it as a dying declaration because it names two authorities that were in the shootout that night and tells about them, saying, well, if they want to hear from you, they'll get a hold of you. Well, how are we going to get a hold of them if we don't know who they are? And the opposition knows who they are, and they're burying them.
Yeah. That's bad.
When this fellow finally came to talk with the officers again, he ended up in jail while we were going to court, and nobody said a word.
Wow. Yeah, they love to point to the appeal like it's no big deal, and just so that they think they can sleep at night. But from what I gathered, these lawyers, they don't do drugs so much, but they drink themselves to sleep every night.
Well, the Washington State Supreme Court is supposed to be an overview court that only looks at cases and what appears in the cases to be either mishandlings or not following the court procedure or not following the previous court case or something like that is relevant, and the evidence shows that the case is relevant. What we had in our case at the end of it was 23 overturned cases denied, and they were back-to-back pictures of what had been overturned, and yet the state court denied that. And on top of that, they went so far as to find us guilty of felony eluding, and there had been no felony committed.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, they are a reviewing court. They are not a court that is supposed to ascribe guilt or innocence to a certain procedure, and this felony eluding was never argued in the case.
Wow.
So that, yeah, and then the United States Supreme Court would not hear it.
Wow.
So with the $2.5 million that the tribal council received when we were locked up in Okanagan County, and the $2.6 million that they received after we were convicted, somebody got some silver change in their pockets.
A lot.
That they don't talk about. Yeah.
A lot. Yeah. The love of money is the root of all evil.
Yeah. Well, and it's easy for people to hate if they choose, if that's the path that they're on anyway, and especially if they're a different race. Where the Native Americans were the first people here, and instead of acknowledging that and trying to work a system where we are part of the working, it's to hell with them. They're no good. They're drunks. They're worthless. They don't do anything. They want to hunt buffalo, and there's no buffalo anymore. And they always want to wrap up in a blanket and stand and hold their hand out, and the same things that we've been criticized for year after year after year. Anyway.
Yeah.
It just it makes me sick sometimes with this that there's still this group in the United States that is a white power group that thinks that they're better than anybody, even within their own racial group, if they're not siding in with them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now,
Yep.
my dad was in the military. He entered the military late and was a guard detailed to transport prisoners from the eastern coast to the Carolinas and Georgia and Louisiana and stuff. He was doing an undercover military secret thing, transporting German officers that had been captured and they were trying to reinstate them into the United States. And my dad was told with the other guy that was a guard on the prison train car that if there was a riot or anything, they were to shoot to kill each. the other side, and Dad had to shoot down at least 42 prisoners. This was the German officers that they were trying to rehabilitate and re-enter into our
What were the Germans doing?
systems.
Was that in America, on American soil?
That was on the American soil. My dad was one of the few people to shoot German officers on American soil.
It's so ridiculous. They should have left them in Germany.
Yeah, well, he didn't. There were other ones that got secreted into the SID and the CIA and the FBI.
Yeah.
And that's why the FBI is the way it is right now.
Yep.
It's because there's that core group that is not about justice, it's about just us.
Yeah, we didn't end that war. We just moved the Nazis over here in Project Paperclip.
Well, we're thinking about going to The Hague and going to World Criminal Court because the World Criminal Court wanted to hang Hitler if they could catch him. And Hitler learned how to produce a genocide against the Jews by looking at what the United States was doing to the American Indian.
Ah, right. And now the prisons are what they're planning for the general population out here.
Yes.
Yep.
And we have per capita more prisoners than any other racial group in prison all across the United States, because we're renegades and we're outcasts and we're this and that and all of that.
You mean there's more Native Indians?
Yes.
Oh,
Well,
I didn't know.
Why? If you take the percentage of population and compare it to the percentage of the population in prison, you will find that there are a higher percentage of prisoners that are Native American as opposed to black and Hispanic and white.
Wow.
Right now, white people are down, at least in this pod, there's 3 out of 140.
3 Native Indians?
Yeah.
Out of
three white people.
Oh, 3.
We've got six Indians, and we've got lots of Hispanics and lots of blacks.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, these are things that I've been passing along to Agnes when we've been doing what we've been doing, and it's hard to take and keep looking at the wickedness that goes on and say that it's justified because of the laws. The laws are not right. And the actors performing the laws are not right when we have tribal newspapers coming and telling us that the Washington State Patrol is stopping more Native Americans going into the Yakima and the Colville reservations in the state of Washington than they are other people.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
I wonder how they know who's who before they get stopped.
Yeah. Well, it's because they're told to. And this is the way it goes here. There are a group that want to be racial biased and wear the uniform and act like they're something. Anyway.
Well, thanks for the lessons on history.
You have 30 seconds remaining.
Believe this, there's still a light at the end of the tunnel.
I believe
Because we're
you.
the ones that's pumping the light.
I believe you.
Please take care of you. God bless you. Have a good day.
You too, my dear. Bye-bye.
Yes, bye-bye for